At the time of recording this, Onyx Storm is releasing in less than 10 hours. It's like 9 hours and 3 minutes. But who's counting? And I, for one, am planning to binge read this book. I took 2 days off work, not planning for it to take me that long. Right now, I'm estimating that it's going to take me between 11 and 16 hours to read it, depending on the font size. Because it's a 544-page book. And if it's a regular font size, I usually can do 50 to 60 pages per hour, like about a minute a page. But Iron Flame had really tiny font, and I was only able to do about 40. And in some of the scenes, I went back and wanted to reread them because of what was going on. And so it could take me up to 16 hours to finish it. So I just wanted to do 2 full days, also hoping I finish it before it takes me 2 full days so I can spend some time like getting my life together because I was out of town this weekend. But I'm still out of town. I am not home. I am on my way home. However, I need to prepare for the next 2 days of reading. And step 1 is snacks. I'm at Trader Joe's, which is my favorite place to grab snacks because I have a dairy allergy and they have a lot of good finds and a lot of really good snacks for people who can't have dairy. So we're gonna see what we can find here in the snack department because this is my only stop that I'm planning before I head home. Let's start with a healthy option and grab some fresh fruit. We got some pineapple chunks and cantaloupe. That's my husband's favorite. Oh, and they also have watermelon. I have been wanting watermelon, but that expires really quickly and it's very sticky. So maybe no watermelon. We'll leave that today. This spiced cider is delicious. It is a perfect cozy drink and I feel like I'm gonna need some coziness. It's super cold outside. This is a new drink. I haven't seen the Power of Red. This is definitely for Valentine's Day. Beet, strawberry, apple, watermelon, elderberry, cranberry, and hibiscus tea. We're gonna try this. So this looks like something that's left over from Christmas time, peppermint crunch popcorn. I love peppermint, I love popcorn, so we're gonna give this one a try as well. I am not buying this, but this is hilarious. Look how huge that is. And then also some other gold coins here. Chocolate JoJo's are one of my favorite. I actually like the peppermint ones best, but since Christmas is over, I don't see those anywhere. So we're gonna do just the regular chocolate JoJo's. I'm definitely not gonna eat these all while I'm eating. These like last me over a month because I just eat like 1 or 2 at a time, but these are so much better than Oreos in my opinion. So this looks delicious. It's Pink Lady Apple Crisp, but they're covered in cinnamon sugar. I think it's part of their Valentine's Day collection, but we're going to throw these in here as well for another sweet treat. We're gonna keep with the pink theme and get some apple strawberry fruit pouches. These, I mean, I'm not gonna eat all of these in like 2 days, but I like to take these to work as well because they're easy to store, quick to grab, and a better option than just going down and grabbing a bag of chips or something from the cafeteria. Look at the heart-shaped pastas. Normally these don't always taste good when they're in shapes like this, but I really want to try them and it's like $2, so we're gonna give it a try. Also grabbed some cinnamon rolls for breakfast one day. These don't have dairy in them and they are delicious. Not quite as good as the Pillsbury ones, but good enough considering the Pillsbury ones are just filled with tons of dairy. I have chips but needed some dips, so this cowboy caviar is one of my favorite sauces. This thing is super good. I've taken it to events before when I just didn't have anything or needed something quickly, and it's always a huge hit. Now, I can't do the spicy stuff, but my brother may be visiting and he likes the spicy stuff, so I'm gonna grab him a bag of these. There's also a new type of popcorn I've never seen before. This has nutritional yeast, which kind of tastes like cheese, onion, sea salt, and garlic, so this one is dairy-free. I love a good popcorn, so we're gonna give this one a try as well. I can't pass up the festive shaped pretzels. My husband ate almost the entire bag of these the other day and they're only 99 cents. So add to cart. All right, snacks have been secured. With the snacks secured, we're on to step 2, which is recap. I unfortunately did not get to read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame again and do my reread before this book came out. I thought about starting at the beginning of the year, looked at my calendar, and I was like, there's no way I'm getting through all of this. I could definitely get through Fourth Wing. That one wouldn't have taken me that long, but Iron Flame is just so incredibly long. I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish it in time for Onyx Storm to come out, and there were some other things that I just really wanted to read, so I decided instead of doing a reread, I'm just going to use the Fantasy Fangirls recap. It's about an hour long. I'll link it down below if anybody needs it. I trust them. They do a great job in all of their reviews and recaps. So I have about an hour and a half drive home. It's an hour long, so it's perfect. All right, I made it home. Recap is done. They do such a good job. The only thing I'll say with Fantasy Fangirls is they have more and more ads now, which I know that they're doing this full time. So I totally get it. But I skipped through several of those, so it really didn't take close to an hour to finish. Honestly, it was more of like 40-ish minutes. And I did have it at 1.2 speed. That's just typically what I listen to podcasts on. So I got through it pretty quickly, and I remembered a lot of stuff. I was very proud of myself as far as remembering like the big events. There were a couple details that they had that I was like, oh yeah, I had forgotten about that. But for the most part, I remembered it. I mean, I've read these books multiple times at this point, so that's not surprising. But I'm curious to find out what things that I want to find out about. Like Violet Second Signet, we know will be in this. I really hope my theory that this is the New Moon book of the Empyrean series is wrong. I hope we don't have a New Moon-like book. I was a Twilight fan. I hated New Moon. I was so mad that Edward left. I do not want a situation like that to happen in this book, but with what happened at the end of Iron Flame, it's very possible. I also want to know if Dane's a good guy or not. I want to believe he is, but he has a dragon with bad breath. And then I hope we go to the Isle Kingdoms. I hope we get Papa Sorrengail's research, and I hope that we learn a lot more about Andarna and her past. Those are the things that I'm hoping for / theorizing about the most. But now it's time for step 3, which is cozy. So I have my big water bottle here. To stay hydrated, I'm drinking Element. That's what I put in my water. I also have the sparkling water version as well. So staying hydrated. I've got my cozy blanket to set up on the couch and read with because I am super cold right now because it is very cold here in Missouri. For the people who live north of me and are like 17 isn't that bad, it's bad. Then I've got a candle. This one's morning brew. It smells like coffee. And then since I'm going to the release party, I have my Scribes Quadrant shirt that is ready to go. My best friend and I run an Instagram page called Scribes Quadrant, so I had to wear my Scribe shirt for the release party tonight. I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this book for over a year, like I know many other people have. So I'm really curious to see what all is going to be answered in this book, what new questions we're going to get because of this book. I'm just really excited to hear the story. And the last thing I'm doing to prepare is my nails. So I have these color changing nails, which I felt was perfect and so fitting for what we learned about Andarna at the end of Iron Flame. I'm going with my color changing nails for tonight. Since I don't have any on, I took them off. I like to give a couple days in between, but I do these press-ons. These are the Kiss by Impress nails, and they have these little tabs. Let me see if I can show you. They have these little tabs that you pull off, and they're just like stick-on nails. I thought for the longest time that press-on nails just didn't work, but I realized it was because I wasn't doing them right, and not all of them are as good of quality as this. This is definitely my favorite brand. I've tried several of them. So the first thing I do is kind of use the little tool that they give me to push the cuticle back, and that just makes sure the nail is ready for you to put on the right size nail over the top of it. And when I do these, I can normally get them to stay for about 10 days is the average. Sometimes, like if I'm doing it like I am today, where I'm definitely going to wash my hands within a couple of hours just after, using the bathroom, or I will be making dinner in a little bit. They don't stay on quite as long. It'll be closer to 7 days, and sometimes I will have to apply a little bit of nail glue to get them to stay on. If I do them right before bed, which I'm not going to do since I'm going to the event tonight, I can get them to stay a lot longer. I can get them to stay up to 2 weeks that way, but usually I would say 10 days is about like the norm time frame. I can get everything to stay in place. And then once I've pushed the cuticle back, I go ahead, and it comes with here it is. It comes with this little nail file. I don't typically use that one. I have a glass one that I typically use instead, so I just go ahead and rough up the nail a little bit. It doesn't take long to do this, but it's a very important step because if I don't do this, they don't stay on. The nails are just too slick and that adhesive just doesn't want to stay on. I love doing these nails because it makes me feel a little bit more put together when I have them on. I can't keep them on all the time due to my job, but I'm going to be off for a few days and I shouldn't be making any IV preparations on the days that I get back. So looking at my schedule, I should be clear to keep them on. Then the other thing I've learned, it comes with a prep pad. Doesn't work very well. I just use my regular isopropyl alcohol on a cotton ball and that seems to work a lot better. And so that's to clean off the nails. So after I've buffed my nails, I go ahead and wipe them down. There we go. Let it dry. And then I know what size my nails are, so I just search for the correct size and put all of those in order. So I've got all of my nails laid out now, and here's the easy part. You just peel them off and then add them one by one. I usually hold them for about 10 seconds just to make sure it stays in place before moving on to the next one. And the other tip I have for this part is I always will do the thumb last. I try to avoid touching the nail as much as possible, like the other nails with my hand. It's not easy to do and I definitely don't always succeed at that, but I want to avoid getting any extra oil on those nails that might prevent it from staying in place really well. Another thing that you can do sometimes, I'm not going to do it today, is run a blow dryer over it to use the heat to try to help with the adhesive setting. I don't do that all the time, but it doesn't take very long to do this, and I think these are perfect Andarna-esque nails to go with her scales. This is the first time I've done a midnight release party. I wanted to do them with Harry Potter, but it just never worked out. I was also pretty young at the time. I'm really curious to see how people show up, if they are gonna dress in like Fourth Wing merch like I am, if there's anybody who's going to dress up for it. I'm not in a huge city. I'm in a smaller, I wouldn't say it's a small town, but I'm in a college town, so not sure what to expect here. I do know that the Barnes & Noble that I'm going to said that they were sold out of their pre-orders. They had maxed out on pre-orders and they were still going to allow walk-ins, but they weren't going to be able to guarantee them a book, which I am assuming they will have plenty of copies because like whatever they have was also what they're going to have in the morning. So I'd be shocked if they didn't have enough copies for everybody, but maybe they just meant the deluxe edition, which I still think there's going to be plenty of. I do know there's some issues that I've heard about, and I don't know all of the details regarding like the tariffs and upping book production before those go in place, because a lot of printing happens overseas, and some people were saying that that may be delaying some of the copies of Onyx Storm, including like the Target special edition and the deluxe edition, because some people who pre-ordered from Amazon are apparently now not going to be able to get their copy of Onyx Storm until like March, which I would be really mad if I pre-ordered and didn't get it, which I originally pre-ordered with Amazon back in March when they announced the book, but I canceled it and did the pre-order with Barnes & Noble so I could do the event and get it at the event at 11:01 Central Standard Time is when they're handing out the books. And I'll be picking it up with my color-changing nails in honor of my favorite dragon. These nails are just awesome. I love them. These are perfect to take to the book release tonight. I'm super pumped. I know I keep saying that, but Fourth Wing was the book that got me back into reading, and so the Empyrean series is always just going to be a little bit special to me. So now I've got to go edit this, make some dinner, and then get ready for the book release party.